Hey everyone, how is it going on this Sunday? Sunday, April 20, not yet 20, sorry, 19th, 2026. Guess what? My Jeep is gone. My Jeep is gone, and we swapped to a Toyota 4Runner, not a 4Runner, all right, to RAV4 2023 hybrid. Oh, I gotta look up something for that. All right. We did that yesterday, actually. We went to Hudson Toyota and we just traded in the Jeep because no longer fucking spending like whatever we were spending on gas, on that Jeep, man. And then just like two-door, two-door and you can't keep the groceries in the back. Um, and There's no room to, keep your golf gloves or whatever, right? It's just that two-door Jeep is really for like, you know, young people who are single, maybe have a girlfriend or a boyfriend once in a while, right? And because in our Islamabad home, Pakistan, we swapped. My brother was there. We basically, I sold my Toyota. I told him to sell it, and we had to get a hybrid there as well. And hopefully, we can save some money on fucking gas because gas is just uh is an expense, you know. In any case, so that's what's happened yesterday. We were supposed to actually meet a couple of friends for dinner, but then just that I guess we didn't just like coordinate it properly, and I didn't want to go to Manhattan, and just like whatever. But we'll we'll do it next time. I'm not I'm not too concerned. But me and my wife, then we said, all right, let's go to this Greek place, Icos, right? Oh my fucking God, dude. Here on Steuben Street or road, whatever it is, right there in the city. Because somebody actually recommended. As soon as we walked in, it's so fucking noisy in there. It's like a club music playing with like the Greek fucking, whatever the instrumentation. It's so fucking loud in there. And I'm like, we can't do this. In any case, so we ended up at Hudson and Co. Hudson and Co is nice. You can see views of Manhattan, and the food is okay. We just had appetizers. We didn't order the whole dinner, because it was kind of late. So in any case, without turning my podcast into a Saturday night or Saturday, you know, description of events in our lives. One thing I gotta check for that Toyota is that it says plug-in hybrid. So is the Toyota plug-in hybrid means that we have to plug it in, otherwise the battery is not going to charge. Let me look up on the other computer here, right? Hold on a second. Toyota 2023 plug-in hybrid. Yes, engine charged. Yes, the 2023 plug-in hybrid, such as the RAV4 Prime, uses its gasoline engine to charge the hybrid battery primarily through regenerative braking and as a generator to maintain charge. When the electric only range is depleted, it acts as a conventional hybrid, charging the battery while driving. Okay, so that's good, right? So where's the fucking battery in this one? Oh shit, it's underneath seats. Wow. You know how these fucking cars now are like sophisticated, So they have an engine, a conventional gas engine, right? Especially these hybrids. Obviously, like Teslas, which are all electric, they don't have uh, they don't have anything other than just a motor and then the rest of the gear and the drivetrain and all that, right? And that's got to be like a DC motor, right? Yeah. So there you go. But I'm happy for myself, for my wife. I think I had this Jeep for like over 3 years, 3.5 years almost. It had, few problems here and there, but I mean, I didn't have a big issue with it. It's just like an 11-year-old car. Obviously, you're gonna run into some things, right? So in any case, yeah, I kind of miss it, but hey, it is what it is. Such is life. It's not like you lost a pet, all right, or you gave it away. So that's kind of new. That is new, not kind of new. And I'm sorry that I couldn't just commit to the dinner, my friends. Uh, so what else is going on? And so yeah, today we drove up to like north of like Hoboken, towards Weehawken, where they have the high road, and by Hudson we have the high road, right, Weehawken, and then you have the lower road. So we basically went up there on the high road, and then came back on the lower road, you know, although it was fucking cold, dude. We had those days in the what do you call it? I'm trying to find a napkin here, but in the 70s, and it was kind of hot, but I knew that this is fucking April. I mean, you can get this weather even in May. This is New York, all right, Northeast. I mean, New Jersey, same thing. Never ending fucking winter or cold, and that's the other reason why. I'm kind of like just sort of in my head, I'm sort of like done with this fucking place, dude. And obviously, wow, like so many people here, like it just quality of life, is not as good as like Orlando or some, like other, places in in the country, right? Uh, it's too many people. It's a concrete fucking jungle, and it just, I mean, I'm glad we are actually not living there, but All right. So without complaining too much, what can you do? What can you do? You got your business here. You can't go anywhere, sir. All right. So that's my whining. You know. Besides that, I mean, I don't want to go on and on about you know random topics and just especially I'm trying not to be negative, but you you get hit with all these fucking bills and this workers' compensation, this fucking thing, and oh my fucking god, and that and this and that, right? And then you can't sell your fucking apartment and can't even rent it, and we had a viewing yesterday, and I think there's somebody else coming tomorrow as well. So hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully, you know somebody makes us an offer. So in any case, God, it's a lot of fucking money, and it's not it's not cheap up here. It's just like I can't even think of like retiring. I'm 53, right? People, at my age start thinking about that. Some people who have actually had good salaries all their lives. I never did, except for like a few years ago when I started taking, like some salaries which I can afford, right? And when I was basically having 3, 4 full-time engineers, basically I was paying for their salaries and I wasn't even taking any. And it was like I was running a fucking charity. Uh, in any case, work is there. It's just that the nature of our business is like up and down. And I had to let one of my engineers go because, I mean, partly because, he's just, I don't want to talk about that, but just, it is what it is. All right. In any case, so I don't want to fucking talk about work either. All right. Let's talk about something else. All right. Because I've been listening to Terence McKenna and, I wasn't able to sleep. I just, sleep is my biggest fucking problem. It's just insomnia and, I'm gonna see my doctor again tomorrow. And I'm gonna have to just do some management, because if you can't get sleep, then basically your body falls apart sooner, and everything else just becomes a shit show during the rest of the day. Just like, and I don't want to do that. All right, what do you want? Take like sleeping pills? I don't know. I just would rather not. But then I've been in a perpetual insomnia, for like a long time, long fucking time, you know. And that has affected me, and that has been affecting me actually more now, I guess, because I'm getting older, and your body needs rest and sleep, and you feel it in your head and your fucking body. It's just like, comes a grind, the next day, and just like you're grumpy and you're angry, and it's not a good feel, and in this country, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like blame America and our lifestyle for everything, every fucking problem, obviously, right? The stress. I think the stress is the big thing. And I was reading an article actually about like high stress, high something. Hold on, let me look it up. High stress, high uh, jobs, and leads to what? Combination of financial burnout, right? Burnout, and then you're trying to basically manage it through whatever, and then what, like a high blood pressure, and you're trying to basically just like calm yourself down, alcohol or whatever, and then also I'm just trying to fucking manage that too, fuck it. I mean, I only drink 5% beers, but that's still fucking, you know, a toll on your. So, all right, can we be a little positive? Is there anything positive we can talk about? You know, and my wife actually cooked some amazing salmon. How about that for positive? She did the whole thing, like mashed potatoes and asparagus, you know. And I got to, wait for the registration for the car because right now it has a temporary plate on it. Right? And, but I got to also, we got to also see my sister because I haven't seen her and my brother-in-law. I think they're out of town. Uh, and we got to make some plans too, me and my wife. I think I want to take her to like Colorado, the mountains, Rockies. She's gonna love it. And that's also kind of like far, there's like a big 4 or 5 hour flight. So maybe Memorial Day weekend, let's see what happens. Got this long weekend. Uh, because yeah, we gotta live life and we gotta fucking cherish, first of all, life, our health. All right. That's very important because a lot of people, after you hit the age of fucking 50, man, you already live half, actually more than half statistically, right? Half your life. So whatever is left, instead of, because my fucking problem is, I'll think about some like, let's say problem, right? All these bills from fucking New York State about the fucking not having workers' compensation, this and that, right? I had to switch to fucking Gusto. And then I'll just think about it, and then I'm trying to get the life insurance, right? And then these fucking companies are finding, I don't know where the fuck they find this information, you know? And I called the gastroenterology here down in Union, where I had my colonoscopy, and it's just like, what the fuck? They're saying nobody requested anything. So then I'm calling fucking Milliman, right? So these things are stressors. Of course they are. But then my problem is that I'll think about that, right, at night. And that will just like make me. more insomniac, and then I'll just keep thinking about it, and in that fucking OCD mind, right? And I can't get rid of that fucking what do you call uh, that spell of fucking like negative, you know. So that's what happens. All right. And I got to just like I gotta say to myself, listen, man, just take some fucking deep breaths. You know, life is not is not. I'm not trying to again sound you fucking you know like corny and saying that my life is just complaining. It's not. I mean, I need fucking you know life insurance and I need you know I need answers for these fucking things, right? And I'm not asking for anything above and beyond, right? But then what can you do? You know, it's like sometimes it's like hitting a fucking wall. And then that just makes me sad and angry. And it just like, so I gotta learn to just like let it go at least, you know, at night. Just fuck it, man. Who cares? I mean, not that who cares, but at this point in fucking time while you're trying to get some sleep, don't think about it. Just watch something or, you know, listen to like fucking lectures from Terence McKenna. That's what I'm listening to. I've been trying to use like fucking sleeping aids from you know over the counter from CVS, and you can't like use you know like micro and you just like do just like I you know to induce sleep. That's the biggest fucking problem. Uh, and like you can't do that because that's also hurts your body and your body. Just like dude, because for the longest fucking time, you know, because my fucking brain has neurons which are always like fucking firing. You know? So already hyper, you know, in that sense. And then my brother suggested, and you know, there's maybe I should, you know, try an SSRI, which I did, and just fucked me up, honestly, you know. It's like, no, 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 this is not for me. Because I was just thinking about like fucking like these intrusive thoughts in my fucking head, dude, even to this day. And I swear to God, I mean, you know, any whatever God, like, you know, because some of us, our brains are not for those things. All right. Do not fucking take those. And I understand why, you know, I don't want to disclose like anything about what my brother does or, you know, what medicine and all that, but it's not my it's nobody's whatever, right? But because he actually is my brother, you know, he's like, man, if you can't sleep, maybe this will help you. I understand, you know, he was trying to help me. But those things are not, I'm not for those. My brain is just constantly just thinking, and I need, you know, it's like I have anxiety, you know, I have a lot of fucking anxiety. And that anxiety leads to insomnia, you know. And so I need something that actually calms my mind, you know, subsides this anxiety so that naturally my body can go to sleep. Right? I wish. I mean, that's the biggest wishful thinking I have. I mean, you know, a lot of us, I think, go through this. But maybe sometimes I'm just trying to make excuses. But this sleep thing has been like really devastating. You know, just all right, so let's just okay. So let's all right. It's already 24 minutes. I you know I babbled about everything. I think not everything, sorry, but hope you guys are getting some sleep. But years and years, the way I managed it is whatever, I'll just watch something until like maybe late night and then I'll just slowly fall asleep, right? And 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 so that's what my body, my mind is used to, unfortunately. And then I don't know. I don't want to do a self-therapy session here, but let's change the gears here. Can you talk about something else? So positive. So we were watching also golf, me and my wife, a little bit. We was the whatever that fucking like every weekend there's some like fucking PGA. Scotty Scheffler and what's his name, the other guy, Cantlay and whatever, because now, my wife is also, she's if you take some lessons, I never took any fucking lessons. I mean, she's a good golfer. I need to get her, you know, clubs for her size. But at least, now hopefully weather gets better, supposedly, and then we can play some more, get on the turf. But sleep and all these things, and these things are also, part of your you know body's health. And all right, sorry, you just basically went on and on about the fucking sleep. All right, so let's talk about what. Um, I don't know. I mean, I want to just have some calmness and some stability, some tranquility in my life and in our lives now. It's my wife as well, right? But it's just that I think that whole thing, experimenting with this just like it's not good for me. It's just like not good for me, man. I just I'm just sticking to what I'm doing for now, uh years and then just like prescription unless it's like anti-anxiety. That's all. Something, then I'll take it for sleep and all that. Otherwise, and I'm not trying to again make excuses for to drink beer, but then just like all the other things, just my mind is just not meant to cope with those things, and it actually makes it worse. It just made it worse. In the beginning of this week, it's just like, in any case, so without going on and on, some of us just, we have just lived our lives however we could, in whatever, sort of like mechanism to keep us afloat, and and what the fuck I'm trying to say here? I'm just trying to, I guess, say that in the most conducive and the most ideal world, you don't basically just don't do anything. Just live your life in a natural way, right? Don't fucking smoke, or drink, or you know. Yeah, in an ideal world, you know. But uh, from I guess because I feel like just I think my loneliness has just contributed to like holding on to something that would just give me some sort of, a calmness and keep my mind off. Uh, so that's all I'm saying. I'm a flawed human being. Forgive me, everyone out there, if I said anything or whatever. It's and then the other thing is that I just told my wife, please remind me I have to take my fucking vitamins because sometimes if you don't take them when you have been taking them for like 3 years, because I've been taking them for like 3, 4 years now, right? Since COVID and all that shit, right? Then I forget to take them, you know, and that can also affect your fucking, metabolism, your brain, and everything, you know. Although it can also be the other way around if you are taking like really high content, B complex super, that can also be stressful on your liver because liver has to process all that, right? So what the fuck do you do? Either you take them or you don't. All right. So I now take like half, you know, but I know that I do need those vitamins, B12, B6, all those Bs, you know, maybe not all those Bs, but you know, for my age. And the other thing, the other thing I realized was, because I took that one fucking SSRI, right? And then even before that, because because of my sleep and insomnia, I was basically using fucking NyQuil. And then I realized that you can't take NyQuil with you shouldn't take NyQuil with anything that increases serotonin level in your brain. All right, because NyQuil has an anti-flu, right? Uh, chemical in there that also basically pumps, I think, fucking serotonin into the brain, and that can create what they call the serotonin syndrome, and that can be dangerous. Because I was fucking feeling, fever, and I had to a job site, and I was like, why the fuck am I feeling fever? It was like 70 degrees outside, you know. And then I looked up, and then I'm like, oh, holy shit! So if you too much fucking serotonin in your fucking brain, that can basically just that's not good. That actually is really not good. So I fucking stopped taking that fucking NyQuil, And in any case, I'm not taking any fucking pills. I don't. Maybe I'll take something like anxiety. We'll talk to my doctor tomorrow, hopefully, and hopefully that will help me sleep as well. All right, everyone. So that's my session, my self fucking therapy session. For this week, I assume you all are actually feeling much better. I hope you're getting sleep because that's very important. I mean, stress life is full of stresses, you know. Uh, but you got to be able to manage stresses, you know. And anything else I wanted to talk about? I think no, I think that's it. That's it for now. I mean, shows we've been watching, just whatever show. Oh, that show with what's his name, Jason Bateman and the other guy. DTF St. Louis. DTF St. Louis, is that what it was? Last fucking episode, I I was just kind of angry at my brother, so I was trying to, talk to my because he and my dad are up in mountains, and so I want to finish that last fucking episode. All right, and what else is going on as far as shows, or movies? Uh, there's the other Taylor Sheridan show. It's called The Medicine. That's a great show, but I think we ended it in the first season. Kurt Russell was in it season. No spoiler alerts. And what's his name? The guy from the show Lost. Remember the fucking show Lost? That's a fucking amazing show. Like, what other fucking shows you can watch? Like, there's nothing. No. You know. It's like as the time goes on, the quality of these shows, movies, I shouldn't say because movies always evolve, I think, but shows like what's there like Lost or 100 or these fucking sort of like futuristic. I'm not talking post-apocalyptic and just like bullshit, like based on video games. I'm not talking about those. But oh, the Peripheral. We were just watching that show. Seems like I've seen that. That's an interesting show, Peripheral. All right. Um, so that's it. That's my podcast for this week. I again presume you all had a great weekend, and I'll see you all next week.